In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Tug Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Military Mom Talk Radio. Today, this is Robin Boyd solo with you today. Sandra's away. She's on the road, and so I'm looking forward to sharing two wonderful guests with you this hour. I'm very, very excited to have today Adam Stacy from CollegiateZone with us. They have a wonderful network of programs, and within that network is something called VetQuest, and we're going to learn a lot more about what that has to offer to our vets. And later on, we're going to meet Gina Sclafani. She is a writer, a creative director by trade, but there was one single event that happened in her life that turned into a very powerful initiative, and in turn, a very meaningful message for everyone. So you don't want to leave for a moment, because you're going to enjoy both of these wonderful guests. Before we get to Adam and Gina, I have a couple of things that I do want to share. It is getting to be that time of year. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and in turn, the minute we get those dishes washed, boom, we're in the throes of this busy, busy holiday season. As you know, we are always sharing with you information about Operation Gratitude, and if you're not on their Facebook page, please do click in and find them, like them. One of the notes that I saw today from their Facebook page said, "Happy Monday, happy December. It's hard to believe it's almost over," their campaign. And what they wanted to include was thanks not only for what everybody has done, but they also included a couple of notes from people who have been recipients of their Operation Gratitude care packages, one of which reads, "Thank you very much from Afghanistan for the care package from Operation Gratitude. I'm a PFC from Florida, 19 years old. Packages like these show the people back home care about what we're doing over here, and makes going about each day's struggle much easier." Well, that's just one of over 800,000 recipients that they have been able to brighten the days in the time spent over there. They have surpassed their 800th package. They actually are approaching the 900,000 package that's going to be distributed this season. Their last assembly day is going to be on December 15th. The 2012 Holiday Drive Special Assembly Day will be in Van Nuys, California at the Armory. If you are in the Van Nuys area and would like to take part in that, it is opgratvolunteer1 at yahoo.com is your email that you should be expressing your interest to, and in the subject line, please include Operation Gratitude Volunteer. The hours on December 15th are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you have the chance, please do stop by. They will have the 800,000th recipient there in his custom-built American chopper, and they are going to certainly have a huge tribute when that 900,000th package goes out. If you are not in the California area and you do want to be a part of some kind of contribution to Operation Gratitude, whether it be a physical gift or whether it be a monetary support, go to operationgratitude.com. Now, another little thing that comes around this time of year every year is everyone gets messages to look for sending cards to Walter Reed Hospital. Now, first of all, we want to remind you that this information is not valid. Walter Reed Army Medical Hospital closed in 2011. The facility did merge with the National Naval Medical Center, and it's known as the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center now. They cannot process any cards addressed to a recovering soldier or any anonymous type of addressee like that. The hospital asks that you direct all of your holiday messages through Holiday Mail for Heroes program, which is through the Red Cross. Now, you can find, there's a lot of places to find it. You can find links to it at the Red Cross. You can find links to it on Facebook. They do have a Facebook page for this. And in fact, the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center has a website and can certainly help direct all of those cards for you. If you do want to participate in this, you must realize that the initiative ends this Friday, December 7th. If you are participating in this and you are getting some cards over there before Friday, they ask that you make sure your cards are signed, that you use something generic like Dear Service Member, because obviously we have men and women, so we want to make sure that it says Dear Service Member, and they ask that it be cards, not full letters, because this is purely a holiday initiative. Don't have glittery cards. They mention this specifically because sometimes this glitter can affect health issues and cannot be used. So they would not be able to distribute those if you did. And no photos, nothing of the kind. You can sign it. You can say thank you for your service, thinking of you, all of those kinds of things, and nothing real personal because it's not to set up a pen-pal relationship. It's purely to say thank you. I'm thinking of you. We appreciate your service and keeping you in our prayers. If you would like to send before Friday, it is Holiday Mail for Heroes, P.O. Box 5456. It is Capitol Heights, Maryland, and the zip code is 20791-5456. It's so hard to get into those extra 4 digits. Sometimes I forget those extra 4 digits on the zip code, but they really are important, and it's certainly in the light that this is a timely matter, it will certainly help redirect those. The only other thing that I have for you before we say hello to Adam, I wanted to also recognize the Toys for Tots program, which I'm sure many people have either participated in over the years or are looking to find ways to make one last donation, perhaps before the holidays. It began in 1947 by a Marine reservist, and over the years, the Toys for Tots has continued and grown, and in 1995, the Secretary of Defense approved Toys for Tots as an official activity of the U.S. Marine Corps and an official mission of the Marine Corps Reserve. Now, since its beginning, the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots program has distributed more than 452 million toys to more than 209 million needy children. This charitable endeavor has made U.S. Marines the unchallenged leader in looking after less fortunate children at Christmas time. And I have to add the caveat that of those 452 million toys, a few thousand of them have been donated by our own Sandra Beck, who has been participating in conducting events for Toys for Tots for about 14 years now, and I'm going to ask her to correct that at our next show. We're going to talk to her a little more next week about the Toys for Tot events that she's had in the past and her plans for this year. But if you want to be sure you're a part of the Toys for Tots program in your community, visit Toys for Tots, and it's F-O-R, not the number 4, toysfortots.org, O-R-G. You can locate a division in your state, and yes, there is a division in all 50 states. So if, in fact, you want to be a part of that, that is where to go. There's lots of things to do in the holiday season. It's a busy enough season, and we've got lots of things for you to do so that you're remembering our children, our military children, and our people overseas. We've got a break coming up, but before we head off to the break, I want to say hello to our first guest, Adam Stacy of CollegiateZone. This company is a one-stop resource of workforce, college, and career readiness programs. And within CollegiateZone is VetQuest, specifically providing prep tools and services for transitioning military personnel. Welcome, Adam. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
This is wonderful. Now, CollegiateZone has been in existence for how long?
As CollegiateZone since 2005. Since 2005, We've been focused on building college and career prep tools, mostly for high school students.
I see. And are you? Do you go to the career days that they have at schools, or is this?
Yeah, we do some of that. We do a lot of working with various districts and individual schools, helping them connect their students with our systems.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. This is wonderful. And have you been with the company right from the get-go?
I have been involved with the company as an investor from the beginning, but I've only been working with the company for about a year now.
Oh, wow. And that must be really rewarding for you now, because if you've been involved with it and then in more of the application sense, this must have a whole different light for you.
It is great and a lot of fun to see it growing and watch more students be able to take advantage of what we're offering them. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, after the break, Adam, we're going to learn not only about CollegiateZone, but we want to specifically focus on VetQuest, which is one of the programs within CollegiateZone system. This is Adam Stacy with us today, and you are listening to Military Mom Talk Radio on the wonderful TogiNet Network. Be back in a moment.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Do you ever feel like you're the invisible woman? Too polite to be political, too nice to be real, tame even though you really want to be unleashed? Like you're living in a fairy tale without the happy ending? Well, Cinderella has left the ball, and it's time to wake up and break up with our own self-imposed glass slippers and ceilings. Welcome to Le Chic Speak, the polite woman's guide to self-expression, with your host, Jen Duchenne. Le Chic Speak is the Woohoo Radio Network's resident radio show dedicated to helping women turn on their power and turn up the volume of their voices so you can be seen, heard, appreciated, and celebrated. Join us on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for your weekly dose of Le Chic Speak with your host, Jen Duchenne, only here on the Woohoo Radio Network.
We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio. This is Robin Boyd with you today. Sandra is on the road and working the magic that she does out there in California. New Hampshire's had the most gorgeous day today for a day in December, and we had about 50-degree weather, the most beautiful blue skies. So what could be better than that? Today we've got Adam Stacy with us from CollegiateZone, a one-stop resource for college prep and career readiness. Adam, let me know a little bit more, if you would, about what CollegiateZone can offer someone looking to head to college.
Well, CollegiateZone and VetQuest in general, but CollegiateZone has a whole set of tools that focus on helping students discover who they really are, much more in-depth than just their interests, what they like, what they do and don't want to do, so that they can actually help find an occupation and a career that suits them as a person holistically, who they are, how they think, what they respond to different situations. And then from there, allow them to explore college and career options. So that they're not just going to college because they're supposed to, but they're going to college to actually get into a field that's a good fit for them.
That's a very important component, because I think so many times you're in your junior year of high school and someone says, okay, you've got to start putting either your class schedule together or your plans for college. You've got to start putting some applications out there. And that's really hard, I think, for some young people to have that kind of focus.
Well, it's a lot to ask of a 16 or 17-year-old person.
Sure.
They don't. I mean, even now, as an adult, I'm sometimes unsure of what on earth I'm doing and where I'm supposed to be going.
What do I want to do when I grow up?
It's that much harder with no life experience or much less life experience. So that's what we focused on, and that's the same benefit that we try to provide to veterans through VetQuest.
Now, what kind of program would a person take part in if they are looking to see what they're best suited for?
The program we use that interprets a person's personality and their behavioral styles is called MindSight, and what it is a Berkman method evaluation reinterpreted for an educational user. So a MindSight customer or a customer of one of our systems that includes MindSight gets access to what is essentially a Berkman method profile and evaluation. If you're not familiar with Berkman method, Mr. Berkman was or Dr. Berkman, was a pilot in World War II, and after World War II, he basically sat down as a psychologist and said, I've got to figure out a way for people to be more effective and more efficient in the workplace, and he built what is considered still the most advanced and in-depth sort of personality analysis, psychoschematic evaluation, if you will. And that's what we use, reinterpreted for students, so that when your student gets the results, it points towards colleges and it points towards careers and study habits and educational effectiveness instead of just professional application.
Does Does it show perhaps an area that a student might need to maybe brush up on? They might have an aptitude for something. Let's say they have an aptitude for engineering, but their math might be a little shy of where it needs to be. Does it identify those areas that a student might need to, say, put a little extra work into?
It doesn't necessarily identify which academic areas you're strong or weak in, but it does absolutely identify those that are the best interest to you and those careers within those fields that will provide a work environment and a system that best suits you so that you can be most effective and most satisfied in your work day-to-day, professionally, career-wise, instead of just, I like doing math and I should absolutely be an engineer. Well, if I hate working in that kind of environment, but I like math, maybe I'm not necessarily fit to be an engineer. Maybe there's something else that involves a lot of mathematical thinking and mathematical modes that would be a better fit for me, and it'll recommend that.
That's interesting, yeah. Now, from that evaluation, how do you then help a student decide where they're going to find the best career path, I guess you could say?
Well, it's really cool. When you finish your evaluation, it recommends specific fields of jobs that are a good fit, and then within each field, it recommends specific jobs itself that are a good fit. And we've got it set up so that from those specific jobs, you can click those and go through and explore all of the labor statistics that go with each of those occupations. So you can explore salary ranges by state, required tasks, required knowledges, specific majors that will prepare you for that. And going from that, you can explore colleges that offer those majors. And if you're using the full system, either VetQuest or our educational system, EDU systems, and you've filled out the whole application and the whole profile, it'll help you find colleges, one, that not only offer that major, but also fit you academically, your ability to get in, and what you're looking for in a college, whether it's a rural college or a large state school or a small urban private school. You can go through and do an advanced search of colleges by major and by all sorts of different types and narrow down where might actually be a good fit for you.
That's exciting because I got to tell you, way back in the dinosaur age when I went to college, it was one of those things that I knew I did not want to be inner city. I knew I wanted something that was a campus that was not, that was a little quieter. I did not want a huge university. So all of those kinds of things I think are very important. And all of those kinds of things are very overwhelming when you're looking at these beautiful college brochures that are sent out and the reps come to the college days at your high school, and they're trying to lure you into going to this school or that school. I think
and the recruiters are salesmen. You're right, absolutely. They're not going to tell you anything bad about their college, so it's real hard to sort and filter through that data.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if this was, I do want to focus a little more specific to VetQuest shortly, but a little more as far as CollegiateZone. If this was founded in 2005, this is a huge growth in such a short amount of time.
Well, we've developed our core programs and our core systems, and we keep building on them, keep making them better. And yeah, it absolutely is. It's one of those things where you stumble upon something that, oh my gosh, I can't believe nobody's done this or thought of this yet. Let's get this out there.
Wow. Now, what was it? Did you start with, say, one or two initial programs with CollegiateZone?
It originally started as self-marketing programs for student athletes to be able to reach out to coaches and recruiters.
Oh, for goodness' sake.
And it expanded to the college and work database information with the SAT and ACT testing, and then we added MindSight.
I see. And now, how many programs are within your system?
Well, we've got the base programs, and then we've got our flagship program, EDU Systems, and VetQuest, which is basically EDU Systems done for a veteran. And then we have our Studio CZ, which is our mass emailing media communications platform, which is another really cool program that we probably won't have time to get into today because you could probably talk an hour just on that one.
Well, that's something for us to look forward to in the first of the year. Hopefully we could learn more about that then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Is this a paid subscription, or is this a free program, or how does one take part in something through CollegiateZone?
They are paid subscriptions. Most of our students that use this system, it is adopted by the school district or the high school itself, and the school buys them an account to get into it. We do have a lot of individual users. VetQuest in particular is all individual users, but VetQuest, because the way it's set up, we're able to offer it at a real low price. It's only $10 a year for complete access, including MindSight evaluation. And normally a Berkman method evaluation can run several $100s. So it really, if you consider what you're getting with the full Berkman 5-panel evaluation, it's a real bargain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is totally virtual, so that anybody in any quadrant of the country can log into this? Or are there...
Oh, absolutely. If you've got your account and you've got your iPad or your laptop and you're sitting in Starbucks, you can log into your account and you can use the system. You can explore colleges, you can explore careers, you can look for scholarships. It's the whole thing is completely web-enabled, so...
Wow, that's really interesting. Now, let's talk a bit about specific to VetQuest. What is unique about VetQuest versus just going into CollegiateZone?
Well, VetQuest, we basically looked at this and said, a veteran transitioning from the military back to civilian life, either considering going to college or looking at careers and jobs, faces a pretty similar picture to what a graduating high school student does, only a whole lot more complex. They're older, they've got more life experience, they've got military training, and they've got access to the GI Bill. So we basically took the tools that we had in our other systems and we built upon them. And we added a military skills translation tool. We added a veterans college or veterans-friendly college list so that veterans can go in and browse colleges that are specifically veteran-friendly, meaning they will accept the military training depending on what it is for credit hours. They'll work with you as a veteran for special classes that maybe are veteran-specific, as a veteran coming home from a combat zone is going to deal with different stresses than somebody who just graduated high school. And we've also got the built-in GI Bill calculator, as well as veteran-specific scholarship searches.
Wow. And that, I'm sure, is an extremely valuable asset to your program to be able to navigate and how to utilize the GI Bill, because we know that there are benefits, but sometimes it's very obscure as to what applies to where and how can I use this. I used part of it when I first got home but didn't complete it. Can I still use it? There's a lot to navigate in that.
Right. Yeah, and it's good to know what you can use it for, how much you can get, how long, based on how long you served and what you did. So that's a great tool, and the real benefit, everybody keeps reading press about veterans feeling like they're being victimized by for-profit colleges. Well, for-profit colleges spend a lot of money on advertising, so they're fresh in veterans' minds. So our system does a good job of helping them find for-profit colleges, not-for-profit colleges, traditional schools, online schools, any school out there that meets what they're looking for, so that they're not just considering what's coming across the advertising bar on their Google browser.
That's fantastic. Adam, we have a break coming up, and on the other side of the break, I just want to wrap up a little bit more about some of the benefits to VetQuest. We're talking to Adam Stacy today from CollegiateZone and VetQuest. You can find more at VetQuest.us. We'll be back in a moment on Military Mom Talk Radio.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Homeschooling? Have questions? Get your pen and paper ready. It's the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney. Fridays at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com. After a handsome blue-eyed Texan fell in love with Vivian at the Victoria Station in London, she found herself at DFW Airport with a tiny suitcase and a snazzy little duffel bag. Well, 25 years later, she is now happily married to that blue-eyed cowboy. They have 4 grown children ages 24 to 18 who became willing guinea pigs when she unwittingly stumbled upon the world of homeschooling. Wildflower Academy flourished for 15 years. They survived and thrived, and you can too. Vivian will be covering a wide range of issues that face homeschoolers. What do you do with kids in the summer? How to set up your one-room schoolhouse? How obedience is paramount? And what to do with those snakes? Plus, you'll be sharing ideas and insights that she gleaned from other homeschoolers. So join us for an engaging hour with the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney, Friday afternoons at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com. In today's business world, a helping hand or idea that doesn't come with an invoice is a treasured find. And if that happens to you, then you need to pay it forward to keep other entrepreneurs from making mistakes or getting a raw deal. It's called Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 10, 9 a.m. Central. Josephine is going to have the guests describe their accomplishments, the lessons they've learned, both good and bad, and then sharing those pieces of knowledge as we create a movement of paying it forward. For more information about Josephine, her business, and background, you can go to mymomknowsbest.com. Josephine Girassi has always been a problem solver. She saw this need and has turned it into a movement. It's Paying It Forward with tips, tools, and advice and hard lessons learned. These pieces of knowledge can make a huge difference for you, your business, and others. So join us for Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Robin Boyd today with you. I am solo. Sandra is out doing some wonderful things in Southern California. And if you have missed any of the beginning part of this show or any of our shows, we've had a tremendous year of guests and information and lots of good things out there. Be sure to visit us at militarymomtalkradio.com. You can also find information on our Facebook page, right here on the TogiNet Network. You'll find our show page there, and all of our podcasts are on iTunes, so be sure to find us there. Right now, we're going to wrap up with Adam Stacy. He is with the CollegiateZone and VetQuest. Adam, before we say thank you, I just wanted to ask you, is there any limit to when a veteran can use your services? For example, maybe a vet has come home, they've done a couple of things, and then might decide, all right, it's really time to redirect my career path. Can you still be of help to them?
Oh, absolutely. We have a partnership with Our Home Transitional in Michigan where they're helping female veterans that have been out for some time, some of them, and they're struggling with homelessness, and we're assisting them with free access to the system. So, yeah, anybody who's been in but has been out and for a while or immediately can get access to the system and take advantage of it.
Oh, that's perfect. That's really great to know. And there again, I think sometimes someone who is just coming home might have a lot of resources, but after they've been home a bit, they're all of a sudden realizing now, okay, wait a minute, I really need to focus here. And it's time. And they finally are in the position that they're saying, okay, either they've had some jobs and now it's time for a career. So I'm glad to know that. How unique is your program? How does VetQuest stand out in CollegiateZone compared to what else someone might find on the web?
There's a lot of different tools on the web, and there's a lot of quality tools. But what really makes us stand out is that mind-site evaluation where you can get access to the Berkman method. There's really nothing else out there that can help you and guide you and direct you the way mind-site evaluation can.
That sounds so wonderful. And as we were saying in the last segment, it's true. Sometimes you just can't quite put a finger. I know I like this, but I'm not sure if I could do that. I think having
I know
that
I like doing this, but working in that field is not making me happy.
That's it. And it's just like having an internship when you're in college. I love some of these programs that are giving them an internship early on instead of the last semester of their senior year in college, because once you're out in the field, you might say, wait a minute, is this what it's all about? I just not wasted, but I just spent 3.5 years in a field that I guess I'm not really right for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you were saying that you have college days that you do at the high schools. Do you have any other trade shows for adults, or would we pretty much find you just online?
Just online is the best way to get a hold of us. We did participate in the Illinois Warriors Summit, and we're open to other organizations and appearances where we can possibly be present like we were there. But mostly it's online. Online's the best way to get a hold of us at vetquest.us.
Okay, vetquest.us. What about Facebook and social medias?
We are all over Facebook and social media, Twitter, Google+, Facebook. There's VetQuest and CollegiateZone on all of those.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Adam, Stacy, it's been a pleasure to meet you. We thank you for all that you're doing, not only for our young people heading to college, but all of those people who have served and come back and now are ready to work in the career they're best for. Thanks, Adam.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
We've had a great visit with Adam Stacy from CollegiateZone. Again, be sure to check out their VetQuest.us website for lots more information and how you can be a part of this program. Our next guest, Gina Sclafani, is a blogger. She's a writer. She is a creative designer. And an event in her life changed not only her life, but she has also changed the lives of over 800 troops. Her blog, GinaLeftTheMall, has some good, some bad, some funny, and sometimes heartbreaking stories to tell. And regardless of where they fall into those categories, they are always an honest story. Gina, welcome to Military Mom Talk Radio.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad to get to know you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, gosh. Well, this is wonderful. I, first of all, have to ask you, your blog is titled, and we're going to talk about how you came about your whole story after our next break, but I want to first find out where you got the name Gina Left the Mall.
Well, shortly after I started doing volunteer work, I saw this picture, and it was a whiteboard, some deployed Marines, and it said, "America's not at war. The Marines are at war. America's at the mall." And
oh, wow.
I saw soldiers and troops, and I thought, now that I know what I know and do what I do, I've left them all.
Oh, my gosh. That's really a stunning statement, isn't it?
I think that most people are not uncaring. I think they're unaware, because I certainly was. And, you know, it's just that sort of mindset, just being distracted by, you know, what's going on in the mall and not realizing that there's this whole other world that needs us and that's important and that deserves some attention.
You know, it kind of brings to mind in the movie Apollo 13, one of the things that they were saying was before the Apollo 13 had their incident, they did a little news blurb, and they didn't put it on the news. They didn't even broadcast it because the whole process was not exciting anymore. And what's hard to admit is that we are existing here in our daily lives, and as much as we see all of this going on in Afghanistan, in all of these other zones, it's almost become, and I hate to say it, but a little more commonplace. And we're almost divorced from the fact that this isn't just television. This is very, very real instances and circumstances and missions, and these lives are being put up for our freedom, and that's very breathtaking.
I think you bring up a great example. I remember that scene, and the wife says, "Do they know that they're not being broadcast?"
Yeah.
And they said, "No, we'll tell them when they get home."
Yeah.
And then after something bad happened, she said, "Well, you know, you could tell them to talk to my husband. He'll be home on Friday."
Yes.
And
yes.
So, but it does matter, and you can see where no one's paying attention, and then it's sort of lip service of, "Okay, great, you did a great job," but the not knowing and the not being part of and the not connecting. I think there's this big divide between military and civilian, and it doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way, and it's such a disservice for the people making a sacrifice.
Absolutely. And so many times, I think, it is a matter of stopping our daily lives. Like you say, I've left the mall, and now there's something that's much more important. We do have a few more minutes before our break, and I do want to find out what was the event in your life that made you leave the mall.
Okay. I always, respected military, but I was just not on my radar, just not part of my life. Mm-hmm. And one day I took my daughter, Sophia, she was 4 at the time, to the USS Intrepid. And, we just went, and there was a film playing about the ship, and they were showing an attack. And as we stood there, I felt someone coming towards me. So I turned, and it was this older gentleman. They had former crew member ID, and he said, I was there that day. Mm-hmm. I was there. Mm-hmm. So the film ends, he walks away, and now at that point, I'm not, proud to admit this, but I didn't know people just walked up to troops or vets and said, thank you for your service. There's not a lot of military here and where I live, and, I just didn't know. Yeah. But I said to my daughter, do you see that man over there? He did something brave on this ship that helped protect us. I want you to go say thank you. So he's busy talking to some people with his wife, and she goes over there, and he's ignoring her because he's talking. And she starts buzzing around the group. And she's 4, so she's on a mission. And I'm just thinking, this was a mistake. I'm like, retract. How do I get her back? And it's just, this is going to be a scene. I just want to get out of there. Yeah. And so finally he says, kidding around, but very loudly, yes, little girl, what can I do for you? And just as loudly she says, thank you for being brave on the boat. I like your boat. Oh. And everyone starts to cry. Oh. So I rush over there. I'm like, what happened? And as I get there, his wife turns around and says under her breath, thank you for her words. You don't know how much they mean. Wow. This is the last time he can visit the ship. This is his last time here. Wow. So, and I'm looking at this man. He's got tears in his eyes. He's beaming at my daughter. She's beaming at him. So we leave. And as we're walking away, I started thinking, okay, my mom is from the Philippines. If it wasn't for American GIs, she might not be here, I might not be here, and Sophia wouldn't be here. And I don't remember saying thank you to a single one of those thousands of sailors, soldiers, Marines, and airmen. So that night, I went home and I did some research, and I adopted a U.S. soldier.
Oh, my gosh. That does just bring, just chokes you right up. Because it was, I can only imagine how hard it was to keep your composure at that moment, but I can also see how this just totally empowered you. Gina, we're going to go to a break in about 1 minute, so I want to talk a little bit more about what was your first steps. But does your daughter, I have to ask you, does your daughter remember that day?
She remembers the Intrepid and the plane with the shark teeth. Uh-huh. And she remembers other help, but she doesn't remember that. She was so little, Sure. But she's heard the story many times, so I think it's just become part of who she is.
Whether she really remembers it or not, it's embedded in her now because of...
Oh, it's embedded, all right.
Yeah, how precious and how simple. And that's the beauty of it. It's those simple statements that we just need to let go and say and absolutely share. We're talking today with Gina Sclafani. She has written, or she is the writer of a blog called GinaLeftTheMall. We're going to come back after the break with her a little bit more. You can find her blog at GinaLeftTheMall.com. Very, very simple. And you're going to find all kinds of information there, some of what we'll talk about and lots more that we won't even begin to talk about, but I want you to go to her website. We're going to be back with Gina after this.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Is there more living for you to do? Yes. Start living inspired. Be here for Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer, Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Tricia will dig deep into topics that matter most to women, inspiring women to make a change in their own lives and to make a difference in the world, and maybe even deep within their own hearts. Tricia is a wife, mom, speaker, family expert, and author of 24 books. For more information on Tricia and Living Inspired, go to her website, TriciaGoyer.com. That's TriciaGoyer.com. Tricia's vision is to be the voice of hope and possibility for women of all ages. Her intention is to serve ordinary women by encouraging extraordinary things with God's help. Tricia expresses real life, real hope for real women. Is there more living for you to do? Yes. Start living inspired. Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer. Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
Show me the money!
Okay, we will. We're going to teach you how to tell your money where to go. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet. Learn how to be a savvy investor from someone who has your best interest at heart. Pam Otten is a financial advisor who loves to help successful business owners and entrepreneurs understand the mysteries of the investment world. And she's not afraid to share that knowledge. Pam is an unashamed Christian and qualified kingdom advisor, which means she's trained and committed to integrating biblical principles into her financial advice. Pam believes investing isn't rocket science. This is the financial advisor who's in your corner and truly understands and cares about you and helping you achieve your goals. Securities and advisory services are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio. Today, we're having a great conversation with Gina Sclafani. She is a writer, a creative director, and now a blogger of the blog site GinaLeftTheMall.com. And before the break, Gina, you were telling us how this all empowered you, how you began this real need to make a difference in your life and in the difference of a soldier's life. Where did you begin after this? Did you come right home and start thinking, or did you kind of put it on the back burner and then knew it was gnawing at you? How did you proceed next?
I came home, I went online, and I started doing some research about adopting soldiers. I wanted to see what I could do. So I didn't specifically start to adopt a soldier. I just did different research, and I was a little nervous because at the time, in the news, information about soldiers would be, somebody got hurt or PTSD, so I was a little fearful of who am I inviting into my life. But then I wound up going to one of the adoption sites, and I adopted a soldier, and he turned out to be absolutely lovely. And then usually what happens is you have the contact with him. The Taliban kept shooting out their internet, so for the second half of his deployment, I was in contact with his wife.
Oh.
And that's unusual, and that became such an amazing friendship. I actually did a post about her called My Soldier's Wife.
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't realize till that moment the day-to-day impact on the family.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, just as I was trying to think of a new care package idea, we'd write back and forth, and I'd be going to the park with, my family, and she'd be going with the baby. He missed the birth. She was having all these first times alone. And I got to see her sacrifice in a way that, it just really struck me. And then when I had sent him something like fun, I think I sent water guns or something, and I had a fun time, and she wrote to thank me and said, he feels so lucky that he got you, and I feel lucky too.
Oh, wow.
And when she said that one statement, I realized, wow, I'm helping her too, and it shouldn't be all on this young family. That's what made me go further. And another thing was that somebody said to me, well, why are you sending this guy you don't know care packages? doesn't he have a wife to send him care packages?
Mm.
I said, yes, she does. She's at home with a newborn he hasn't met.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll just let it be on all their shoulders, and we'll just, go live our lives and say, thanks, you two crazy kids.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think so many times we've talked about this on our program is that it's not the soldier who is serving, the whole family is serving, and we forget that. And not only are we becoming sort of oblivious to what they're doing over there, so to speak, we have to remember what their families are doing over here, and that is such a great sacrifice. Before we talk a little bit more, I want to back up just a tad. How did you go through finding a reputable place to find a soldier? I'm sure the Internet is flooded with send something here, send something there. How did you plow through that?
I read through a lot of websites, and I got down to Adopt a U.S. Soldier and Soldiers Angels. And a lot of it had to do with, I wanted an organization that, had some, I felt it had some legitimacy, had some press. Like, I'm sure there are many new ones out there that are worthwhile, but this was a whole new world for me. And so I really wanted someone who I felt had been vetted a little bit, in these different paths. I wound up doing things with both of them, but at the time I wound up using Adopt a Soldier. Adopt U.S. Soldier is the one I went with.
Uh-huh.
But then I became a Soldier's Angel afterwards.
Oh, wow, yeah. We have had Soldiers Angels with us before, but I'm interested in finding out more about Adopt a Soldier from you as well. Now, once you became so involved with this one, and I do know exactly what you mean about becoming involved with the soldier that you did correspond with, because when I was in high school, I did a similar thing. I had a Vietnam vet that I was corresponding with, and I did correspond with his wife as well. Once they were stationed in Germany, I was able to contact the both of them, and it was really wonderful. Once you realized how much this meant to you and into your life, how did you begin to branch out and reach even more?
Well, the first thing I did was on Soldiers Angels. One thing that's very nice about them is they have lots of different ways you participate. So I started, they had requests to write some letters to wounded warriors, so I thought, one more letter a week, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And then I started exploring beyond there. It was the holidays. It was crazy busy. I just could not get to the post office any more than I already was. But I still wanted to do something because, doing good feels good and knowing that you're making a difference, So I found Cup of Joe. I don't know if you're familiar with Green Bean's Cup of Joe.
Oh, I'm not, but I'm going to.
Oh, you're going to love it.
I'm going to.
They have cafes in deployed bases all over. And what you do is it's $2 for a cup of coffee. You can even buy one cup of coffee if you want. And you write a message to the service member and however many cups of coffee you want, and they send it randomly to any of these troops that signed up for it.
Oh.
And then the troops usually write a thank you note back, and there's a pen pal option. If you both opt in for the pen pal option, then you can be pen pals.
Oh,
so
wow.
A few minutes, $2, and then the rest of it is email correspondence.
Really?
I have an amazing story on my blog currently, Coffee and with a Serving of Perspective. That all started with one $2 cup of coffee with Cup of Joe.
Oh, my goodness.
So I highly recommend Green Beans Cup of Joe.
Well, we definitely will find out more about them and be able to share it with everybody. One of the things that I wanted to check with you, too, is I'm sure that you've had some unusual requests. Oh, before I even ask about that, where do you find time for all of this? Because you work, you're a single mom. How does one put volunteering into your daily life?
Okay, well, I learned a brilliant lesson the hard way, and that is do what you can. There are times in my life where I'm very busy, and, I'll do Cup of Joe anytime, but that's where Cup of Joe comes in. There are times in my life where I have a little bit more time, then I can do more. I got my daughter's class to do an art project, called, I refer to it now as Killer Snowflake because it was so involved and such a nightmare, and there was a fire drill, and it was too much work, and I brought the wrong craft wire, and it was just at 2 o'clock in the morning I had epiphany, and I had to ship it like that day or would never make, the holiday deadline. And I thought, boy, this was a mistake. What part of my single working mom brain picked this labor-intensive activity? 30-something snowflakes that are like, and it had glitter on it. It was just a disaster. So I learned do what you can. And if some people can do more, fantastic. But whatever you do, it's meaningful because I'm sure you know and I'm sure you've heard that little things mean a lot over there. A single cup of coffee, a single postcard just so they can hear their name at mail call. It's like sending over gold.
And I'm so glad that you said that because that just sort of validates. I think everybody has somebody in their community who is this marathon extraordinaire angel that just does everything, and every time you turn around, they've done something amazing for this part of the community, or they've done something amazing here. And all we need to remember is that we can only do what we can, and I think that's just really, really important. One of the things that I wanted to, we've only got 3 minutes till the end, Gina, and I'm just stunned because I have so many more things that I want to ask you. What was one of the most amazing care packages that you sent over?
Okay, that would definitely be the golf balls.
Oh, God.
My soldier's wife told me that he found a driver in Afghanistan, and I'm thinking, chauffeur? She's like, no, a golf club, which I thought was pretty random and funny. So I wanted to send over golf balls until I saw how expensive they were. So I just asked everyone I knew for used golf balls, which also involved a friend hooking me up with a guy who sold them out of the back of his trunk in a car on Staten Island. So I sent over like 4 boxes of golf balls, and I didn't think to send a golf tee because I'm not very sporty, but our soldiers are resourceful. They used a shell casing. And so he gets them, and he shoots them off the roof of his brick hut. Now, he was in a remote base in the mountains of eastern Afghanistan with very bad fighting. They were not welcome where they were. It was not a good situation. They had, it's one of those places where they had no entertainment options either, so they would welcome these golf balls.
Oh.
So he and a few guys, they shoot them off the roof, and they have fun for, I don't know, however many minutes that takes. And then the next day, there was a surprise. There was a knock on the front of the forward operating base door, and it's a bunch of Afghan children with their shirts pulled out, filled with golf balls.
Oh.
The kids had shagged the balls, and they wanted to sell them back to the soldiers. So they agreed on a price, and sometimes they paid them in cash, and sometimes they paid them in brass shell casings, which were worth about 50 cents in their local economy.
Sure.
And then they shot them off again, and then the kids brought them back, and they shot them off again. So this goes on.
Gosh.
And when his unit pulls out, they left the club and the balls for the next set of guys. And another one of my soldiers told me, you don't realize what you did.
Oh.
I said, what? They had fun. He said, no. They weren't welcome where they were. The kids are the lookouts for planting IEDs.
Oh.
You help save lives. And I was like, no, I don't want to say I did that, but I know that these guys in a stressful situation that had minimal outlets had that fun every day. The kids who are literally dirt poor had a source of income, and they had a chance to interact with the community in a positive way.
Oh, my word.
So
Gina, I'm so sorry that has to be the end of our show. I want to make sure that everybody goes to your blog, GinaLeftTheMall.com. This story, more of it, and more stories to come you will find with Gina. Thanks so much, Gina, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Take care. Next week, be sure to tune in to hear Tracy Kramer-Kelly, the author of True Surrender. We're so glad you were with us today. See you next week on Military Mom Talk Radio.